Space is no longer a sanctuary. China is now arming its Tiangong space station with robotic self-defense bots. These aren't sci-fi fantasies. They're real machines designed to intercept and physically push away suspicious spacecraft in orbit. After near collisions with SpaceX's Starlink satellites, China decided it's done playing defense passively. In this video, we'll uncover how these bots work, what triggered this bold move, and why it signals a dramatic shift in the global space power game. In late 2021, China issued an urgent complaint to the United Nations. The reason? Its Tiangong space station had narrowly avoided two potential disasters, close encounters with SpaceX's Starlink satellites. These weren't hypothetical risks or vague satellite movements. On July 1st and October 21st, Starlink 1095 and Starlink 2305 descended from their typical orbit of 550 kilometers to approximately 380 kilometers, placing them directly within the operational altitude of Tiangong. The space station, still under construction at the time, was crewed by astronauts during both incidents, turning a mechanical threat into a human one. The Chinese government stated in its UN submission that these satellites posed dangers to the life or health of astronauts aboard the China space station. These incidents weren't just technical headaches, they were diplomatic flashpoints. Harvard astronomer and satellite tracker Jonathan McDowell independently confirmed the near misses using U.S. tracking data. In one of the two events, he estimated that a Starlink satellite may have come within just 3 kilometers of Tiangong, a terrifyingly close brush in orbital terms, where even millimeters of miscalculation can be catastrophic. But these events were more than just near misses. They revealed a fundamental vulnerability in the current orbital environment. Space is getting dangerously crowded, and no one's in full control. As more private companies launch satellites, sometimes hundreds at a time, the risk of accidental proximity, data interception, or worse has skyrocketed. What's more, not every spacecraft that approaches another is doing so for innocent reasons. A satellite may be taking high-resolution images, gathering signal intelligence, or even testing close-range maneuvering for future conflict scenarios. China's leadership recognized this new reality. The traditional tools, diplomatic protests, evasive maneuvers, and passive monitoring weren't enough. The country needed a way to take direct, physical control over its space security, not with missiles or lasers, but with intelligent robotic systems that could intervene without escalating to outright conflict. In a public lecture at Nanjing University of Science and Technology, senior Chinese scientist Sun Jibin revealed a plan that sounded straight out of science fiction. China's space station would be equipped with robotic defense thrusters capable of intercepting other spacecraft. But this isn't about space lasers or missiles. It's about precision intervention using autonomous bots. According to Sun, the defense system under development will consist of small robotic vehicles that can be deployed from the Tiangong space station itself. These bots will identify, approach, and, if necessary, physically latch onto suspicious spacecraft that come too close. Once attached, the bot will use its thrusters to redirect the intruding object to a safer distance, away from the station's orbital path. In short, it's like a tiny robotic bouncer for China's space lab. What makes this technology groundbreaking is its level of autonomy and real-time decision-making. Sun emphasized that the bots wouldn't launch recklessly. First, the system will assess the approaching object's intent, whether it's simply passing by, conducting surveillance, or acting erratically. Based on that assessment, Tiangong's operators can choose from multiple responses, perform a controlled dodge, adjust orbital altitude, or deploy a bot to intervene directly. This approach differs significantly from other orbital robotics programs around the world. In the United States, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA, has invested in autonomous satellite repair and inspection bots. Similarly, companies like Astroscale are working on spacecraft capable of grabbing and deorbiting space debris. But China's bots go a step further. They're not built for maintenance or cleanup. They're being designed for active defense. While the full specifications remain classified, analysts believe the bots will likely be equipped with optical sensors, LiDAR, and microthrusters, all coordinated by onboard AI capable of processing trajectory data in real time. The goal is not to destroy or disable an intruder, but to enforce orbital boundaries without causing escalation or debris. China's move to arm its Tiangong space station with autonomous defense bots has triggered an intense debate. Is this a reasonable precaution, or a dangerous step toward the militarization of space? Let's start with the official framing. China insists that this technology is purely defensive. It is designed to ensure the safety of its astronauts and prevent unintentional or unauthorized approaches by other spacecraft. On paper, it aligns with international norms. After all, every nation has the right to protect its citizens, whether on Earth or in orbit. But the broader context complicates things. The U.S. is simultaneously pursuing space defense capabilities of its own. Under former President Donald Trump, the U.S. proposed the Golden Dome, a $175 billion space-based missile shield aimed at intercepting hypersonic weapons and ICBMs. The plan specifically named China as one of the key threats it was meant to counter. That project and the wider agenda of Space Force make it clear that space is increasingly seen as a strategic battleground. China's space bots, though small and non-lethal, are part of this same shift. Their purpose may be protective, but their existence changes the rules of engagement in orbit. They introduce the idea that spacecraft might now interact physically, grabbing, redirecting, and pushing each other around. That's a major escalation from the passive observation and evasion tactics used before. Critically, these developments strain the framework of the 1967 Outer Space Treaty, which bans the placement of weapons of mass destruction in orbit but leaves plenty of gray areas around active defense systems. The treaty was written in an era when space was dominated by two superpowers and a few hundred objects in orbit. Today, thousands of satellites operate in LEO, and dozens of countries and private companies have access to orbital tech. What's emerging now is a quiet but rapid shift towards space deterrence, a concept once confined to Cold War-era science fiction. If one nation has robotic guards protecting its station, others will feel pressure to do the same. The result could be a cascade of weaponized infrastructure, veiled in the language of safety and sovereignty. In short, China's robotic space defenders may look like small, harmless machines, but strategically they could mark the beginning of a new space arms race, one fought not with explosions, but with proximity, manipulation, and control. China's initiative to equip Tiangong with autonomous defense bots marks a significant shift in space operations, blending technological innovation with strategic foresight. As space becomes a more contested domain, the balance between exploration and security becomes increasingly delicate. The international community must navigate these developments carefully, fostering collaboration while addressing the challenges posed by the militarization of space. The question remains, are we prepared for an era where space stations not only explore the cosmos but also defend against threats? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates on space exploration and scientific discoveries, and don't forget to leave a comment below. Also, you can visit our website, spaceinews.com. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.